Gina Carano is back and she's delivering the knockout to not just one, but two media giants. First, she takes on well known liar and Pfizer propagandist Chris Cuomo, and then she delivers another slam to her former employers over at Walt Disney Pictures. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side. Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, ring that little bell so you get notifications. And if you're watching on YouTube, consider becoming a channel member where you get all kinds of perks. You can sign up today or you can come to a live stream and give me a super chat, whatever you would like to do. Thank you so much for considering it. If you don't want to support big tech but still want to support the channel, head on over to my locals community. You can sign up there. The link is in the description. Okay, it's true. All of it. Gina Carano is back and she is delivering the smackdown first on Chris Cuomo. So, for those of you who don't know who Chris Cuomo is, I don't blame you. He was on CNN, and as we know, no one really watches CNN except for some people who are just kind of like, oh, let's see what's breaking. What 5 day old news is breaking today. Everything is breaking news over at CNN. So Cuomo used to anchor a show on CNN. They fired him after a massive scandal, and now he's with News Nation. And he was along with Don Lemon, who has also been fired, but for a separate scandal, and always bashing people who were questioning what was going on during the lockdowns for, that mysterious virus of unknown origin. We all know the origin. We all knew it. And he was constantly talking about how people's rights should be stripped away. He was interviewing people who didn't want to acquiesce to the government. He was basically a propagandist for the medical industrial complex as well as the government. It was disgusting to watch. And he recently went on the Patrick Bet David show where he was like, oh, we were so wrong. Oh, we were lied to. No, you were spouting the propaganda points of your sponsors over at the big medical companies. Let me tell you, they were constantly sponsoring CNN, so don't tell me that was not the case. Anyway, I was a little disappointed in Patrick Bet David because he didn't really push back a whole lot. I mean, he did a little bit, to be fair, but no, Chris Cuomo was a liar, and he should be not on television. He staged this whole thing where he got COVID and he was in his basement for 2 weeks, and he staged this thing where he was emerging. It was all fake. People had taken pictures of him at parties and riding his bicycle. He was nothing but a liar. Well, Gina Carano shared a clip from this interview that Cuomo did, and she reacted to some of the things he said. So she wrote on X, it does matter that Joe Rogan was raising questions and took the heat, trending every other day, being mocked by people like you being Cuomo, and the organization you work for. He was threatened and pressured by the higher ups and mob to be canceled. It could have cost him everything. He was doing the job you should have been doing. Now you're still making excuses for these people. You mean to tell me Dr. Fauci, the FDA, and medical community just didn't know about the 2015 Nobel Prize winning drug ivermectin? You were just given wrong information? Right. Ignoring and supporting the censorship of part of the legitimate medical community who were pushing back. You say people were just resisting the government, or had they seen and been vaccine injured and were asking legitimate questions, critically thinking like Robert Kennedy Jr. has been doing for years. I don't like Robert Kennedy Jr., but to his credit, he has been on top of questioning the medical establishment. Continuing on. You were part of one of the most powerful news organizations in the world, and you bullied and shamed the genuine questions from the public that you were supposed to be offering unbiased news to. Instead, you all called them anti-vaxxers and alt-right extremists. Don't try and change the story now. Show some humility. People weren't allowed to sit next to their loved ones as they died because of the propaganda you spread. This phase in major news media history will go down as one of the most embarrassing, destructive moments that cost people's lives and careers, broke up families, and destroyed our economy. You don't look like a hero now. You look arrogant with no idea how deep this goes for the people this destroyed. And then she includes a screen capture of Chris Cuomo threatening her, basically with bad publicity. He threatened Gina Carano. What a moron. Let me tell you, he would never do that in public. He's happy to yell at people who call him Fredo on the streets. But yeah, he's too much of a coward to address this. So she showed a screenshot. He said, Chris Cuomo from CNN. Would you like a chance to clarify where your head and heart are before you get defined permanently by others? Question mark, question mark, question mark. What a jerk. What a freaking jerk. He should be ashamed of himself. So then he replied and said, hey, I gave her a chance to come on. She chose not to. And then Gina Carano shares a video of him dancing at a party when he was supposedly on his 2-week COVID when he was so then Gina Carano shared a video when he was supposedly, isolating, of him dancing at a party, and she said a chance to come on and speak to professional propagandist / hypocrite, hard passed. It's not that there can't and won't be healing. I want that, and so do many others. It's that you're still so full of bleep. Good for her. Exactly right. People like Chris Cuomo in the media and everything. This is why I don't trust the media. Everyone's like, you sound like. I recently got a comment where someone's like, you sound like one of those guys who doesn't trust people because he does his own research. Yeah, that's how everyone should be. Stop listening to these experts in the media. They lied through their teeth and people died because of it. It's shameful, and good for Gina Carano standing up to him and also to Disney. I reported on this a few weeks back, where Disney, in an absolute hypocritical move, they fired Gina Carano for expressing her First Amendment right to free speech about certain things, and she made a few jokes and she shared a few inspiring memes, quite frankly. Her co-stars did the same exact thing, and they fired her, a strong, independent woman who is amazing. She's certainly so sweet and nice, unlike those arrogant people in the Disney writers' room, always lecturing and finger wagging. Well, so she is suing them with the help of Elon Musk, who is the owner of Tesla and X, formerly known as Twitter. And Disney filed a motion to dismiss based on the fact that they had a First Amendment right to not associate with her. Hold the phone. What absolute hypocrites. They should be ashamed of themselves. Of course, they have no shame. We should really bring shaming back into our society. That would end all this brainwashing of kids by weirdos on other social media platforms. Absolutely gross that they would have the gall to then go, hey, we have a First Amendment right not to associate with her. Oh, you jerk. Come on now. And Gina Carano had a perfect response. So her lawyers filed a counter motion. And so she talked about this on X. We filed our response to Disney's attempt to dismiss my complaint. It's pretty disappointing to me that they misrepresented me even in their response. Just mind-blowing, the disrespect and lack of care for facts. That's sadly not surprising anyone. This behavior has become the norm. Disney still has another chance to respond to our arguments, and then we have a court date set on June 12th where the judge will hear arguments from the attorneys. I will be there. After that, the judge will decide whether to allow us to move forward with our case. We believe strongly that there are no grounds for a dismissal, and I should be allowed to proceed and state my case in the court of law. Please follow this case whether you are for me or against me. One day you could find yourself on the other side of the aisle. I believe my case could bring balance and groundbreaking benefits for people across the board. June 12th. Read our response in the article below. And then she posted a link to a Deadline article. You can head over there and read their response. What absolute bull malarkey for Disney to do something like that. Gina Carano is absolutely right. It is disrespectful, and I'm going to go a step further. It is hateful, it is evil, and shame on them. Shame on Kathleen Kennedy, shame on Bob Chapek, shame on Bob Iger, shame on Jon Favreau for not getting his house in order, shame for Dave Filoni for backstabbing Favreau. Absolute disgrace across the Disney board and into their subsidiaries like Lucasfilms, which of course makes Star Wars. Absolutely insane. If you like that video, consider subscribing to Studio Jake, liking this video, sharing it out, ringing the bell so you get notifications, and becoming a channel member where you'll get access to exclusive perks. Or you can head on over to my locals page and support me there. Thank you for watching.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any